here at UC Davis, and I'm also the co-founder of a pre-startup called Took That Eat This. And what exactly Took That Eat This is, we can get to in a little bit. But what I'd like to talk to you guys about today is kind of the core behind what Took That Eat This is going to be. And it's going to be how internet technology provides big data to shape what the future of food is going to be like. Now, the reason why I want to talk about technology is because of how powerful it is. You think about all the different technological uses that we have. We have so much data stored into our phones. The processing power of one of our smartphones right now is equivalent to that of a supercomputer from the 1980s. Just think about how far we've come, from a computer the size of a lecture hall, having all that power into the size of your hand. Not only that, but we can use satellites. We have satellites up in space solely for the purpose of GPS tracking and imaging. That's something that hasn't happened in ever human history, where we can use space and harness its power through technology to our advantage. That, and we can take video, filming, photography, and all these other things to new heights through things like drone technology. There's so much more technology that I could talk about, but what I really want to do is talk about how all this technology relates to food, because that's what we really care about. Now, there are tons and tons and tons of food apps out there. This is just a small scale, like a small scope of how many apps are out there. I'm thinking in the thousands. That's definitely some of the technology that we can have on our phones. But what we also have is we also have things like vertical farming, which is brand new, where we can take the farm and create it using technology in a sheltered space, where we allow all of that growth to be controlled by the internet. There's even a winery here on campus that utilizes that and tracks the growth of wine in the fermentation process using Wi-Fi. We can also keep track of the crops on regular land using things like drone technology. I know big companies like Taylor Farms and Tomcat Ranch out in San Francisco that use this drone technology to monitor soil quality, monitor pesticide problems in their foods, monitor things like how is something getting diseased, is the water level of my soil okay, all these other things. And we can even print our own food now. There's 3D printed food that is happening all over the place. There's even talk about having the ability to just generate one of these in your own home, kind of like the food replicators of Star Trek. Now, with all this technology that we do have in food, the one thing that it is getting harmed is medicine. Medicine is such a great and powerful technology that we have utilized in the past 50, 60 years to help fight and cure a lot of disease. However, the problem with that is some of that medicine can actually interact with our food in our own bodies. And these happen in what are called adverse food-drug interactions. And they make up this series of adverse drug reactions that are responsible in the US alone for over 2 million hospitalizations and over 100,000 deaths every single year. That puts that the number 4 leading cause of death in the United States. And most of these foods are things that we eat all the time: alcohol, herbs, fruits. These can all interact with the medicine we're taking, and some of them, yes, can have beneficial effects, but they can also have adverse effects as well. And grapefruit is up here because it's one of the key examples I love to bring up: grapefruit and Lipitor. Lipitor is a cholesterol-lowering medicine, and grapefruit actually inhibits the absorption of Lipitor. So if you take grapefruit and you have Lipitor at the same time, your cholesterol levels aren't going to be lowered or inhibited the way that you think they are, which can lead to more serious health issues. So how do we solve this problem? We can solve it using technology. We combine it through Took That Eat This. What Took That Eat This is a project conceived at the Food Hackathon in San Francisco in March of 2015. It's a website dedicated on learning what foods to avoid and what foods to eat more of, solely based on the medicine that we are taking. And it started out as the idea to do this through using a simple database. But as Dr. Matthew Lane alluded to earlier in our keynote address, this has grown into something much bigger, an ontology. I'm going to go ahead now and explain what this ontology is and why it's going to be so important, not just for Took That Eat This, but for the future of food. So I have to start by saying, what exactly is an ontology? An ontology, at its base, I like to call it an integrated or defined vocabulary, a connected vocabulary. What you do is you have classes inside of an ontology. A class could be a person, it could be a cheeseburger, it could be Alex, it could be a